Hey YouTube, so I guess I just wanted to do another video on the twins. Oh no. I wanted to do more like a detailed video on the twins, and I swear I can never find the time to film anymore. Like, I literally have to put them to sleep or be away from them because I can't record. And then when their dad is home, they're just so crazy that he can't watch them both by himself. Anyways, so I wanted to do more like a detailed pregnancy with the twins, I guess. And it's just like, oh man, I'm so unorganized. Like, my thoughts are all jumbled up when I'm recording, and it's like I need to take a speech class, because I heard that if you take a speech class, everything is more like, you know, the way your thoughts are going, like you know how to talk, I guess, which I'm going to take this semester. I'm taking a speech class. Anyways, so for now, like, I'm just organizing what I'm talking about on my phone, that way like I'm not jumping all over the place. So so yeah, I guess this is like part 2 of my pregnancy with the twins. And I don't think in the first time I talked about my pregnancy with the twins in my other video, I did mention that I didn't tell my parents. But the day that I did go to the doctors, after I went to the emergency room, I went to my OBGYN, and you know, she did confirm that there was 2. So I called my mom that day, and I told her, and you know, she's like, oh my gosh, you know, oh well, you know, I guess it is what it is. And then so she's like, you just have to talk to your dad. And I guess my dad happened to walk in when I called her, and he was like, about what? And then she's like, well, Jessica's having twins. And then I was like, I just don't want him to be upset. And she said, he's not upset, he's happy. And like in the background, I heard him say, I'm not happy. And like I felt hurt, so I hung up. So when I got home that day, you know, he came up to me, and I could tell he wanted to cry, and he was just like, well, it's not that I'm not happy, I'm just, all your dreams are done, you know, everything's done for you. And so I was like, well, that's what you think. So since we knew our family was growing, we moved out a day after Valentine's Day. And you know, I liked it. We lived on our own. It was just a little place. It was a 3-bedroom place. Apple loved it. And the only thing I didn't like is Blake started working. He was working the night shift, so he would leave around 6 p.m. and he wouldn't, you know, he'd be gone all through the night. So I was sleeping by myself with Apple, which is fine because I needed the whole, like, the room on our bed, because it was, you know, I was big and I wanted to sleep by myself on the bed. So he'd come home at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and then me and Apple would be up around 6:30. But the thing is, we were up all day waiting for him to get up, you know, because he was getting his sleep. So I didn't really like it, and I started kind of getting depressed because we weren't really doing anything. And so I started getting bored, and all I would do was go on Baby Bump, which is an app that I have on my phone, and it's just a group of women that are pregnant. You know, it was either, I was on the twins or more group, which was either pregnant women or women that already had their kids. So I found that really helpful. Or I was also like on the August birth club, but I actually gave birth in July. And so well, we moved out. I hated being around my parents just because I was so big, and I hated all the attention, and I don't know, I just didn't like seeing my parents look at me with my big old belly, you know. I felt uncomfortable. And so I tried not to go over to their house. And then finally, in June of 2012, we moved back with my parents, because my mom didn't like the fact that, I mean, we only lived about 10 minutes away, but she was just worried about the twins coming. Blake was going to be working at night, and she's just worried about me, you know, she's a mom. So we moved back in with them, and I didn't like it because I was always getting, it was towards the end, I was about 30 weeks pregnant, and I was getting rib pain, I was getting back pain, I was getting, everything just hurt. I was just such a big baby. I was always complaining to Blake. You know, he was just tired of listening to me complain every single day, like every single day. And then I would cry because I was so fat. You know, I'd cry because nothing fit. I was wearing the same clothes every single day. I started getting like like stretch marks behind my legs. I didn't get that many stretch marks on my belly. I got like, yeah, I didn't get that many. I mean, I had some with Apple, and that's basically all that I still have left. And then so yeah, I was going to my doctors every 2 weeks, and then I was going to get special ultrasounds every 3 weeks, I believe it was. And at 33 weeks, when they did the ultrasound, they found out that Bella was a little bit smaller. Usually her and Malin were always like a couple ounces apart, and I think since he was baby B, he was a little bit over her. Like, he'd be like 2 pounds 5 ounces, and she'd be like 2 pounds exactly. And so I guess they started drifting way apart. So I was going, they asked me to go back again after 2 weeks, I believe it was. And she was growing, but she was still growing slower than her brother was. And so I was going to the hospital twice a week to get, I forgot what they're called, but it's just monitoring their heart for about 30 minutes, just their movements. And those were twice a week, and you know, those were always a pain. And the reason why I got a scheduled C-section was because they were always breech. Well, either sometimes Bella would flip around, but by the time they were born, they're both facing up, so they were not in a position to be born naturally, you know, through a vaginal birth. So that's why I had to have a C-section. The doctor kind of always figured, you know, you're most likely going to have a C-section because it's hard with twins. And she wasn't comfortable, even if one twin was the right way and one was breech. She wanted both to be upside down, which never happened. And so yeah, I mean, you know, every week I was just counting the days until another week went by and another week went by. I was so tired of being pregnant, and you know, I was like, I'm never ever having any more kids. Like, this sucks being pregnant, you know, all the attention, all the pain. I just don't like that much attention. I really don't. Ow, Bella, that hurt. She pulled my hair. And so the day of my C-section, I had to be there. I believe they were going to do it at 7 in the morning, and I had to be there at 5:30. Well, I got up at 5. I straightened my hair. I got all my stuff ready. You know, my mom said goodbye to us. And so we left late, and I didn't know there was traffic towards the way my hospital was that early in the morning. So my mom stayed with Apple, and my dad went to work. So the procedure for the C-section, I was a little bit late. So when I got there, they're like, well, where are you? We've been waiting for you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So, you know, they hooked me up. They put everything in the IV, everything. They monitored my contractions for a little bit and the fetal movement. And she's like, wow, that was a really strong contraction. Did you feel that? And I was like, no. She's like, the thing is, your uterus is so stretched out by now that, you know, you don't even feel them. And I would look on the monitor, and they looked like way off the charts. But I seriously did not feel anything. And so, let's see what else happened. So we were in there, you know, we had to fill out a bunch of paperwork, Blake and I. And all of a sudden, she was like, okay, well, the anesthesiologist is here. He's going to come talk to you, and then we'll get ready. When we realized I left my camera in the car. So Blake had to run over to our car to get the camera. And, you know, and they wheeled me into like the surgery room. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous that, you know, like all the things that can go wrong with having a C-section and having that thing up your back. And so I just remember holding onto my nurse's hands and just praying that everything was okay. And I was like, you know, what if he pokes me and it hurts, and I jump and I move and he accidentally pokes me in the wrong place? I was just so nervous. So kind of out of focus there. And so he, you know, everything was smooth. I was so cold. You know, I already talked about how they laid me down, and then Blake came in and he was holding my hand, and he was like, how do you feel? I was like, I feel cold and I'm just nervous. So I could just feel a bunch of like tugging and pulling. Like the doctor was just going like shaking me, kind of. That's what it felt like. And so all of a sudden I heard the first cry, and I started crying. And, you know, Blake let go of my hand. He went over to make sure that Bella was okay because she was born first. And I was just waiting for Malin to come out, cry, and, you know, I was just going to feel so relieved. And as soon as I heard him cry, I just started crying, and it was like, you know, oh, I'm not pregnant anymore. I was so happy. And so, yeah, so they took both of them out. You know, I guess they sewed me back in. or they sewed me back up, and so that was it. I mean, it all happened so fast. Like I said, you know, the doctor said she didn't have any time to go in for the other twin. She just had to do everything like super quick. And yeah, so let's see what else happened. So that's when I said, you know, I felt out of breath, and like I don't know if any of you are pregnant with twins or have been pregnant with twins, and like all those pains that you have and how miserable you are and you can't even walk. As soon as you have those babies, that's gone. Because I remember thinking to myself, you know, how long after I have the twins will I still have this rib pain, you know, this shortness of breath? And as soon as you have them, I mean, it's like, woof, everything's gone. So yeah, I mean, we got to go home, I believe it was a Saturday, and I wanted to go buy formula just in case I was having problems at home with breastfeeding. And I remember I told Blake, you know, we're gonna go get this kind of formula. It was Enfamil Baby Blue one, and he was like, okay, well, we can go get that. And I was like, before we go home, let's go stop at Target. He was like, are you kidding me? Like, why don't I just go by myself? I was like, no, I want to go with you. So I don't know if it was my hormones or what, but right after we left the hospital, we went straight to Target first to go get formula. And now that I think about it, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? My babies were fresh born out the hospital, and I'm over here at Target shopping for bottles and formula. Like, are you crazy? So I try not to tell. Like, my mom doesn't know that, and I don't like telling people that, because, you know, what the heck was I thinking at Target with my freshly newborn babies buying formula? But yeah, so we didn't go out after that. After we got home, we didn't go out until the babies had to go to their first week appointment, or their 1 week appointment, I think. And we tried not to go out after that because it was the end of July, beginning of August. It was so hot out, and I mean, we did have air conditioner, but then we didn't want them to get too hot, too cold. So yeah, I mean, I think that's it. As far as, you know, the twins being born. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any more questions, I like answering your comments, and yeah, I guess just go ahead and leave me a comment. I mean, I feel much better now doing this more detailed twin pregnancy video. So yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!